Good evening, Inside Fitchburg viewers. We are live in studio tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm joined with some ladies from the Fitchburg Historical Society. We're going to speak about house tours tonight, and that, you know what that means. The holiday season, it's pretty much here. So we're going to get right down to it and talk about all the things you can expect from this year's house tours. Got some beautiful properties to discuss, a lot of fun things happening, nice little features to the day. So we're gonna dive right in.
That's
Good evening.
Super.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Did you just want to go down the line, introduce yourselves to the folks?
Sure. I'm Susan Navarre. I'm the executive director at the Fitchburg Historical Society for about the last 4.5 years.
Great.
I'm Kathy Cragen. I've been a member for years. I was just recently the vice president of the, but now I'm a freelancer, just helping out.
Great.
I'm Shirley Wagner, and I'm a volunteer at the Society. I'm a past president, and I was the acting director at the point that Susan was hired.
Awesome. Well, welcome once again. Thanks for joining us today. So house tours, like I said, you know, I feel like when the house tours roll around, I have two thoughts. A, I can't believe December's here, pretty much,
yes.
And B, it's the kickoff. It's really, I feel like it's like the kickoff to the holiday season.
Exactly.
In the city of Fitchburg.
It's a wonderful holiday fundraiser to have that way because it's early enough in the season that everybody gets to have lots of fun, and can see it as sort of the beginning of the holiday season. And we have a lot of visitors that arrange with friends or family or both to all get together again and go on the house tour together. For the people that haven't been on it before, and each year we have new people that get to explore it, but we have to explain to them how it works. That it's not a guided tour, but rather you get a map and a description of all of the houses so that you can go in the order that you want to go, and you can spend the amount of time at each one that you want to go. Yeah. And so I usually recommend to people that if you're chatty the way I am and you want to learn and explore a lot, you might end up spending a lot of time at the first houses that you visit. So you might want to put the ones that you find most interesting on first, and then sort of start from there and then look at the map and go to the next and the next. So you get to go in and walk around at your own pace, and the owners of the houses are there, and volunteers from the Historical Society too, so they can answer questions about the history or about the decoration of the house. Yep. And you can learn a lot too while you're just enjoying a beautiful place, usually made by an important architect and often designed by interesting or important interior designers.
Right. I like that format so much too, because I feel like it really provides sort of a day where everything's spread out throughout the city. So it's not like there's just one thing going on at this one place at this one time. It's sort of just it's a wide event, which I think makes it that much better.
I mean, we really saw that last year, didn't we? When people were there was such beautiful weather, and people were walking up and down on Main Street to go to the Fay Club and to
the galleries,
and go to the galleries, go to all the things on Main Street, and many of them actually walked up Prospect too to see the house that was there. Yeah. And so it did enliven the city. You just saw people that were visiting the house tour all over the city, and then people stayed to see Santa Claus and the lighting of the trees.
Yeah, that's really nice too. Yeah, it really is a beautiful day. So how many houses do we have on tour this year? Or I should say properties.
We have 9 private homes, but then also 4 other properties. And so that means it's 13 in total, which is quite a large number.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And this is actually, we've been calling this an all-star year because we've brought back some old favorites that people are always asking to see again.
Oh, great.
And so it's really going to be a fascinating, beautiful year, don't you think?
Should we dive right in to the properties?
Sure.
And see what we've got? Okay.
I'm going to tell people that they need to, I'm going to start my tour by going down North Street, taking a left onto Ross Street, and there are 2 properties on Ross Street, both on the same side of the street, on the left-hand side as you go up the hill, that are available this year. Both of them were built in 1911. Ross Street itself opens up somewhere around 1910, so these are pretty much original homes on that street. The first one should be familiar to people, and if you really like it, you can go back there because it's a bed and breakfast.
Oh, yes.
And you could stay there, and that's the Haworth House. Beautiful home, lots of interesting architectural features. It's an English stucco cottage. We don't have too many of those in Fitchburg. So it's interesting in that respect, and I think there's a lot of variety in terms of the house types and the architects that designed the homes on this particular tour. From that, you just go up the street one more house, and that is the McGowan House. And that house has had a lot of loving restoration in the last few years, but there's a wonderful Victorian mural in that home.
I went to that one, I believe, the first year
Yes.
it was on.
Yes.
It was gorgeous.
It is. It's not to be missed, in my opinion. Again, that's a 1911 home. That's an H.M. Francis house. Totally different style. I mean, it's sort of amazing to see two houses on the same street. Often you see houses that are similar in design.
Right.
These two houses could be halfway across the town from one another in terms of design.
I don't know if we got the first picture up. Could we? I think we missed that one. Can we get the first picture up? The
Haworth
bed and
house?
breakfast? Yeah, I don't know if that one made it up on screen. I'm peripherally looking, peripherally.
okay, and I was-
but
there
if we
it
can
is.
find it, but if not,
That's
no
it.
problem.
There it
is.
is.
That is
I was gonna
it.
say that's a really pretty one. We should have that one up there. Yeah, that's beautiful too. My gosh.
And it's a different view of it because if you come in the driveway, you won't see this view.
Oh, that's true,
That's a
right.
view that's looking down the hill from the inside of the house.
Wow.
A lovely, lovely spot.
And this is again on Ross Street.
And
so
again on Ross Street.
Yep.
So then you go up Ross Street, continue up Ross to Blossom, take a right onto Blossom, and on the right-hand side of the road is a lovely Dutch colonial. This one requires a little trek down the hill, the driveway to get into the house, but well worth going to see. That is a Dutch colonial home, and it's got French doors, which I've already said publicly I'd like to steal, so that if any come up missing, they know to come
Okay,
looking
we know
for
where to
me.
find you then.
Yes, and it also has just a morning room that I would die for. A place to sit and just look out, and it's so peaceful and so beautiful. The home has a lovely collection. The person who owns this home is a collector.
Okay.
And a traveler.
And a traveler.
What number is this on Blossom Street again?
We don't usually give the numbers.
Oh, you don't give the number. Oh, sorry. I don't want to blow
But
that.
that's okay. That's okay. But it's the Dr. Manilin's house.
Oh, okay.
So many people will know.
Oh,
that
okay.
house.
And that's been
yeah,
on
that's
before.
been on before. Okay.
Sure.
Right. Oh, yes, there it is. Okay.
Because these are our favorite friends.
Yes.
So,
oh, it's so pretty. What a nice picture, too.
It's a beautiful, beautiful home, and again, well worth the visit in terms of trekking down the little driveway to get there.
It's sort of fun that that's got blossoms in the foreground there, because that's why that street was named Blossom Street, was that there was somebody who lived up it and who loved to grow flowers. And
Really?
so, yeah,
I
had a
didn't
great
know that.
big had a great big estate up there with lots and lots and lots of flowers. And so they named it essentially after his estate that it was Blossom Street, the street with all the blossoms.
Oh, that's lovely.
So yeah, it's quite a long time ago, early 1800s.
One of the other facts that we picked up about Blossom Street this summer was the fact that the founder of the Historical Society, who lived on Grove Street,
Yeah.
summered on Blossom Street.
Oh my gosh.
Now, we found that quite amazing because that didn't seem very far to us. but
Yeah,
that's-
really.
That's where their summer home was.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, people really did it. We found
interesting.
a beautiful old photograph of Grove Street that predated when the Historical Society building was built in 1911, and this is before you had paving of the streets. It
Yeah.
was so it was during the winter, and the snow was really, really high. And in the picture, you could see people getting down the street with a sleigh, a horse-drawn
Oh my gosh.
sleigh.
Love it.
So in the winter, it was harder to get around if you were that far away.
Right.
But in the summer, it's true that a lot of the homes up in the hills were originally built as summer homes, so
Oh,
that
it makes
people
sense
could
when you
get,
put it in that perspective.
yeah. And before the invention of air conditioning,
Sure.
you want those nice cool breezes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
absolutely. Great. Well, should we continue on?
we'll move on.
Okay.
Okay.
So, gosh, what house is this now? Where are we at? Number 4, right?
Yep.
Or property. I keep saying
Yeah.
house,
That's-
but property
that's all
number
right.
Do you have
4.
another one, Shirley?
I have the Joel Caddy house,
Oh,
but I
okay.
think it's later.
Oh, okay.
Let's see what
Okay,
comes
let's
up
see what
next.
comes
here.
Oh, whatever picture
We can-
throws
yeah,
up there,
yeah.
you know, we'll just
We'll
talk
Exactly.
about
We
it.
can talk
I
about
like that. Live TV, you know, that's
That's
how,
right.
That's how things can go sometimes. Yeah, here we go.
This is Lisa and Michael McLaughlin's house on Bond Street. And this is a lovely Mission Colonial. Sits atop a beautiful stone wall with views of the city. The home boasts a beautifully designed and updated chef's kitchen, which this kitchen is brand new. So if someone's come to see this house before, you'll get a treat. I heard it's a beautiful, beautiful kitchen. They've restored this house impeccably, and they've really treated it with a historical significance. Mike McLaughlin is an artist and a craftsman himself, and so he lovingly has, worked in every single facet of this home. It's got beautiful light fixtures, and it's just a very gracious home, and I think people will enjoy visiting it.
That's great. Mission, did you say Mission Colonial?
Mission
Never even
Colonial.
heard of that style.
No.
Interesting.
It is. It's a different type.
And this
of
is the first time that house is on.
No, second time.
Oh, it's the second time.
But
Oh,
the
sorry.
kitchen's all brand
The
new.
kitchen's the new part. All right, great. And that's one of the best places to look in,
Yeah.
in a house.
So
Great.
many of these of that era have these very gracious, beautiful
Yes.
proportions in them. I'm always struck by that, how elegant the houses felt, but they never felt over large.
Right.
Just this fascinating, perfect balance
Yep.
of a human scale, but yet, lovely. And the people of Fitchburg were able to build something
Yeah.
that's that detailed and that lovely.
Very true.
Because there were so many industries that were just popping up in Fitchburg
Right.
at that time.
Great.
Yeah.
So moving along, number 5. Let's see how
see what
well
we
I
can
do
do.
keeping the tally in
Yeah,
my head.
okay.
I don't know.
So
So far,
we're
I'm
testing you.
okay.
So
but,
far,
you know.
you're fine.
Yeah,
That's
number
right.
5
So
would
we'll
be.
just keep going along them. and
If
then
I can count correctly, number 5 is where we are now. And what house will we be seeing here? Are we going to just whatever?
I think
we'll
whatever.
see
I
what
think
they
it's
pop
out
on
of
the
what the
screen again.
original.
Look at
this
that.
is Jane and T.J. Fluharty's house.
That's gorgeous.
On Apple Tree Hill. It's a beautiful, beautiful
goodness.
home. Edward Healy built this house, and when he wanted to build a house in Fitchburg, he wanted to build a colonial, and he looked for a neighborhood and couldn't find one, so he basically bought the whole street.
Oh, there
and
you
this was the first house on the street. And his architect was James Britton, and he's the one that did many of the houses in Sturbridge Village.
Oh, wow.
This house boasts 3 fireplaces. It's 4,000 square feet, and it's got the wide pine floors and beautiful crown molding. It's got a keeping room with like a beehive Dutch oven hearth,
Oh, wow.
which is gorgeous. And when this was on the house tours, I think maybe 5 years ago, it was picked up by Worcester Magazine, and they did a whole layout, which was fabulous, of this house. And at that time, they had small children. Now they've got a girl in college, but I think that I remember how really adorable those kids were, because they would all take a room and they would get facts about the house, and
Cute.
and they would tell people that came and visited. So I'm sure that people will enjoy it. They have a beautiful barn too. It's just really a lovely, lovely home in
Is the
Fitchburg.
barn part of the tour for that particular home?
I think they might, if someone wanted to see it, I'm sure they'd take you out to see it. But
Yeah.
the house is quite spectacular.
It's one of those houses that I'm going to probably hesitate bringing my husband into because he'll get sad about life, you know. It's one of those, I can tell, it's one of those houses. It's going to make me go, oh, where'd I go wrong? So just from the outside, you can see. That's great, though. Exciting
Yeah.
stuff. That's beautiful. Good.
It is. It's lovely.
Okay.
But you can actually really enjoy these, just get ideas and things.
Oh,
but
I always
also,
take notes. Yeah, mental notes.
Yep.
For sure.
But it's true. We come home going, wow, I think I'm going to actually pick up a little around the house.
Yeah, right?
Make
Yeah.
it look as gorgeous as that.
To Pinterest for my ideas
Yes.
on how to make it look like that house I just walked
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
Right? Well, number 6, if I'm once again
Number 6.
counting
Going to the
correctly.
neighborhood here.
This is the Donnelly house.
Okay, yeah.
This is Joni and Tom Donnelly on Prospect Street.
Yep.
This was a Crocker house, Alva Crocker's house. No, this house, the site was where Alva Crocker built a house in 1895. Then the original mansion was demolished by Alva's daughter, Mrs. Willard Soper, and replaced by a beautiful Georgian-style mansion. It's a beautiful, beautiful home, and the thing about this house too is a friend that we've visited before, but they put in a brand new kitchen. And if you're talking about getting depressed, go see that kitchen.
Great
Because this is not just a show kitchen. You know, anyone that knows Joni Donnelly, she's entertains a lot. She's got a wonderful big family, and you never go there when there aren't people sitting, eating, or doing something. But I said to her when I first saw the kitchen that I thought she bought a quarry first, and then she put the kitchen together, because even her butler's pantry is just phenomenal. So if you think you've seen this house, you've got to go back and see the kitchen.
Awesome. That's great.
It's cool.
I love it. I think every year, well, I've been able to go the last couple years. I usually ended up working on these days, and I wasn't able to go. But the last couple years, I've been able to go, and they really are just, and one thing I think that, and you girls probably hear it all the time, I think a common comment, I didn't know there were houses like this in Fitchburg. I can't believe this is in Fitchburg, And I think that's one of the most important things about the house tours is really opening the doors and showing people like, hey, this is in Fitchburg.
It is. It's really good
It's an
publicity
eye-opening
for
event.
Fitchburg.
It really is eye-opening. You're right. It's wonderful to hear how many people come to see this, and they contact us afterwards and say, I am so proud of Fitchburg. What a beautiful city this is. And they always, even if they knew of one house or another, they'll say, just as you say, I had no idea that there were this many beautiful, beautiful homes in Fitchburg. And it's really the city's architectural legacy. It's the homes that are all around us, and we're going to sort of loop around at the end to some of the earliest buildings that are on the house tour. And so there have been nice buildings built in Fitchburg from the very beginning, from the colonial period and onward. And I've actually noticed too that we're getting members at the Historical Society who come to the house tour, and they're not from Fitchburg, but they find out about the house tour and they come and visit, and they fall in love with the city, and they buy a home here, and then they say, I want to know more about Fitchburg, and so they join the Historical Society to learn more about their new home.
That's what you want.
Yeah, and so we keep seeing this over and over again.
That's great.
It's really exciting and encouraging.
Love it. Well, let's press on. Oh, geez, 6? Or was that 6? Now
I think it's 7.
I left it to you.
I knew this was going to happen.
I think it's 7, Alex.
Number 7, lucky number 7. Okay.
Okay, this is Sophia and John Bogdasarian's home.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And you can see the beautiful stonework. A lot of the work on that house was right from the site. They took a lot of the stones. It's a Georgian colonial nestled in on an expansive grounds, and it was built in 1929. The home was built for Wyman S. Crocker by Edgar and Verna Cook Solomsky, architects from New York City. There is a quarry, or there was a quarry in the back where they did get the stones, and it's got beautiful built-ins. It's got moldings, original impressive stairway. The stairway is gorgeous when you walk in that front door, and that house maybe 6 or 7 years ago it was on the tour. But it's also a really, really beautiful home. And it's been well cared for and loved, so I think people will enjoy seeing it. And the site is really quite nice, too.
Oh, yes, yeah.
It's
a
up by
beautiful area.
Applewild, that's, you know, in that
Yep.
area.
Beautiful area. So, one thing I always like to touch on when we talk about the house tours is how folks come to be on the house tour, kind of the process. I know, like we said, for this particular round, it's kind of, there's quite a few old favorites, if you will. But what would someone, just to throw it out there to the masses, what would someone have to do if they know of a house, if they live in a house that they think would fit nicely into the house tours? Would they contact you, or is there a selection process?
They would definitely contact us, and many people do. It's at this time of year when they're all excited about seeing the house tour. They are doing work themselves on their house, or they know of somebody who has a really interesting or historic home. They get in touch with us and let us know whose house it is. There's a very active committee that has put this event together, and they work so hard all year long. This is, especially, they ramp it up at this time of year that they're prepping everything, but they like to take care of the selection sort of early in the year. And so it would be a terrific time in December, January, and February to contact us, give us those names, and then somebody from the committee will come out to visit and talk with you about how it works and take a look and see if it fits in with the plans that we have for the next year's house tours, because we do love to keep switching it up. We've had a real variety. We've had things that were mid-century modern, and we've had more recent houses that were just fascinating for their design and decor. And their setting in Fitchburg. So we love that when people contact us about that, because it allows us. We've been doing this for the very first one was not a Christmas one, and I was looking at the program for it. It was done of very old historic homes in 1964 as part of the 200th anniversary of Fitchburg. And so they were done at different times, tours like this. But this winter house tour has been happening for at least 15 years or so. So that means a lot of different houses in Fitchburg.
It is. It's a lot. Have you ever turned anyone down? It's like, hey, come to this house, and you guys like,
I don't
after
think
checking it out, going, no thanks.
What happens sometimes is people sign up for it and then they get the jitters a little bit because it's it's taking on a lot, and so what usually happens is we have. The people that do have the houses, they come and see all the other houses too. Sometimes they even come the year before if they're interested. They're invited to, hey, come. And people that have done it talk to you and say, it's really a great experience. I think, there's a little bit of fear that something will happen. And we've been very fortunate that clientele that we have that come are extremely respectful of the houses and the people, and the owners. I've never heard a complaint from an owner. They usually are elated, because people have come and enjoyed and complimented them on what the house was. And I can remember not Joni and Tom Donnelly's house, but Michael Donnelly's house that's on John Fitch, the highway.
Is it Mount Elam? No,
it's
that's
off Mount
it's
Elam,
off
but
Mount
that
Elam. I know what you're talking.
I think it was an old inn at one time, and they've done a lot. It's a beautiful, beautiful home.
It's a gorgeous house.
And someone came and had lived in that house, before their family had lived in it, and they had a great conversation. And that's just wonderful. I mean, that doesn't always happen.
No, totally.
So I don't think we've ever turned anyone down. Sometimes houses haven't fit what we're trying to do, as Susan said, for the year. Sometimes it's a little bit thematic, and so, or maybe the house is in the condition that, it might show well, so, you might make a suggestion, well, maybe if you did this or that, you'd be ready next year, But we look forward to people offering their house.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, I remember this talking with the homeowners that were hosting last year. they had so much fun.
Oh yeah,
They
I
had
bet.
so much fun chatting with people, being in touch with old friends again, or meeting new people. It was sort of like hosting a party.
Yeah, it is. It
but
does
you
feel
didn't
like
have
that
to.
sometimes.
You didn't have to feed anybody any
Right,
of that.
yeah.
But you got to, chat with a lot of really nice, really, really terrific people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is a good place. How about we take a little break because we're kind of halfway
Okay.
through, a little more than
Okay.
halfway through. We'll take like a 2-minute break. Don't go anywhere. We're talking house tours. So stay with us. We will be back in a moment.
Hello and welcome to FATV, Fitchburg Access Television. Each week we take pride in providing some of the best public access television programs in New England. From FATV live sporting events, city meetings, and school functions, to weekly shows such as Barbara and You, Inside and Discussing Fitchburg, Sports Weekly, Weekly Wellness, and Our City. Our dedicated staff of industry professionals and hard-working volunteers is here each week working behind the scenes, making it all happen. Besides on air, our programming is also shown live online, where you can see our shows in beautiful high definition. You can also search through our archive of past shows and watch anytime at your leisure. But did you know you can also be part of the action? Become a member of FATV, and you gain access to all the equipment, studio space, and classes that FATV has to offer. You can create your own show, volunteer for exciting live events in our studio, or all around the city in our high-quality mobile broadcast track. The possibilities are endless. For a small fee, you can become an individual member. Or for a little more, you and a group of friends can become part of a rising trend in the future of television. From sports shows to news shows, civic events, and talk shows, you can be in the driver's seat by directing and even starring in your own production. Also, students are free. FATV staff can assist you by getting your new show up and running with professional industry standard equipment, TV studio time, and private editing suites. All you need are friends to help out, and before you know it, you will be on the air. So if you have a great idea for a TV show and want to share it with the world, stop by 175 Kimball Street, Fitchburg for a free tour of our facility. You can also contact us at 978-343-0834 or email us at info@fatv.org. Fitchburg Access Television, working together for a stronger community.
Welcome back. We're talking house tours. If you're just joining us, I'm joined with some ladies from the Historical Society here in Fitchburg, Susan, Kathy, and Shirley. Hi again. So we've been speaking about the houses that are on the docket this year for the house tours that are happening December 2nd, which, like it or not, is right around the corner. Sponsored by the Historical Society, and we kind of left off about halfway through the list of properties that we can expect to see. So I guess let's just jump right back into it.
I'm going to pick it up with a house that is not historical by usual terms. Almost all the houses we've talked about so far, they go back as far as 1911 and then go forward. You know, there's some that were built in the 20s. But then this house that we're going to talk about, Joel Caddy's house, is a 1976 home.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, those of us who are strict history buffs don't see that as old enough to be historical, but it certainly is interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, look at those turrets. I mean, that all by itself is interesting, and if you go up in the turret, you get a lovely view of Rollstone Hill. But mostly, this house, first of all, it was lovingly built, and probably everything inside of it was picked personally, carefully by the Caddies. A lot of the work was done by the Caddies, maybe all of the work. So there's such interesting things to see. Tile work and slate work that probably most of us would not even have thought of doing. All right? So everywhere you turn in this house, there's something that catches your eye. And then you got to go back the other way and see it from a different set of angles so that you can see more. And then again, we got a collector here.
Right.
You know, so there's collections here and there and everywhere. So very interesting house, well worth the drive to go up there and take a look.
The tiles are legend. I've heard
Yes,
a lot about
yes.
them.
Yes.
People love this house.
Yeah, and
Men love this house. It's very interesting.
Oh, and that is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of a house that was on the tour last year on Ellis Street. Kind of fell into a similar category, where
Yep.
not historical,
Unusual.
however.
I was just thinking about that too.
Castle Way House.
Right here,
Yeah,
Susan. Yeah, we're right here.
The one with the people that were fascinated with the medieval and medieval
Yes, yeah,
collectors,
yeah.
and they had done this beautiful job.
Right, so they kind of
at
fit that criteria.
Integrating medieval English culture into their house, and it's true. That was the one that people kept coming and saying, it's so interesting. I kept seeing a new detail, and it was unlike any
Very
other
different.
house you'd ever visit.
Right.
And this is the same way. Seeing
It's
that,
nice to throw those in the mix.
yeah,
Yeah.
the personal vision
Breaks
Right.
it
of
up a
how to
bit.
make your,
Right.
and how sometimes houses can really express who you
Yeah,
are as a
the
person.
personality
Yeah,
true.
you
of the
shape-
individuals.
You shape it.
So
yeah.
true.
Yep.
So that's something that everybody enjoys. I bet that's why the men like it so much.
They
that
do.
they see it's a way of expressing something without having actually to say it out loud.
Yes, there you go. So, makes sense. So where are we going next? What house do you?
Which should we
Brendan?
Brendan.
Okay.
Brendan.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
yes, oh,
mention
we don't-
one-
but we don't
I'll
have a
mention this
picture.
when I have the
Yeah.
stories, but we accidentally didn't bring the picture. This is on Atlantic Avenue, the
Right.
Brendan McWilliams house.
Great house.
Wow, so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's not known who the architect was. They know who built it. It was built by Charles B. Smith, who seems to have built it on speculation and then sold it to the first owners, the Sawyers. But when you go in, if you've been in other in H.M. Francis homes in Fitchburg, even like the President's Mansion or the President's home at Fitchburg State, you really see a lot of similar approaches to the woodwork and the design and the shape of this very elegant stairway. It's a Victorian and really a classic of Fitchburg's Victorian era with the quality of the craftsmanship is just stunning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way that somebody could do a house like this anymore because
Right.
you had so many craftsmen that came and worked relatively cheaply compared to today.
What it would cost
And
you today, yeah.
So they were building with cherry. It's got woodwork and ash as well. It's got the pocket doors and all
Oh, yeah,
the
those are
original
beautiful.
stained glass
Beautiful
glass
fireplaces.
windows, the fireplaces. Yeah, they mentions it's got coffered ceilings and this very grand main staircase.
Yes.
And this house has been in the family for many years.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. That's another nice thing.
Yeah.
To
So
see.
the original story is so it was built by this Charles Smith, and then it was bought by two other people, Mr. and Mrs. Albert Sawyer, in order to give it to their church, the Universalist Church, so that their parson could live in it. And so then it was the parsonage for the Universalist Church for quite a while. So it sort of shows you how important the churches were, but also it's just interesting to think of this family buying a home in order to
As a
give it
gift.
to the parson as a gift for the church. Ultimately, the Universalist Church moved to Main Street, and then it became part of First Parish,
Right.
which is now the Unitarian Universalist Church.
Yes.
Those two churches merged everywhere in America, Unitarian and Universalist. So that's how it became a private home. then.
Okay.
But it's really, a beautiful
Wow.
home. What did I miss
History
that
right
you've
there.
seen?
Oh,
too?
geez, nothing.
Yeah.
You've covered it all.
Yeah,
That was
it's
one of my
re-
favorite ones for was that last year or the year before?
No, it's
Several years ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
yeah.
I mean, that whole street too is one of my favorites anyway.
Yes,
I mean,
it is.
Atlantic
That's a
Ave
good
has
point.
got
It's-
great houses.
It's got wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. You really see it
Or that
fitting
area,
in
too, is-
with
yeah.
all those Victorians that are built up
really
and down
pretty.
that street.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's one thing you see in Fitchburg too, is how the neighborhoods were
Oh, yeah.
built at one time, and they all have some beautiful architecture. So you see details from the outside of all the different homes.
Right,
It's a neat way to see.
It is. It's very cool.
Fitchburg again.
Great.
You know, the thing too about this, just to interject a
yeah.
little bit, you know, Brendan's, the house that we just mentioned, and even the McGowan house, they're young people.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
and they bought houses that probably were not in the greatest shape.
Right.
But they restored them, and they took real pains to make sure that they respected the history of the house, and it shows. And I think it's a nice thing for young people that, you know, might want to take on the work of an old house, to come and see that it can be done.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes it takes a while, and
Right.
and you will, even if you've seen both these houses, I'm sure there will be changes.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
because
that's a
it's
good
a work
point.
in progress when
Sure.
you own an old house. But you know, it would be something for people, if they're thinking of doing that, to come to this house tour and check out those houses.
I think that's another appeal, or hopefully should be an appeal, to buying property in Fitchburg, because you can pick up a property for a song, you know, or relatively, and then put your stamp on it, or kind of refurbish to bring back the old charm that it maybe once had, things like that. I mean, it's just so much more affordable to do those types of things in this city. You know, I think that's an important thing for people to know or remember. You know, like houses like Brendan's house is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Really
perfect.
is.
Yeah.
I think that's what I've been seeing from people who are who are purchasing in Fitchburg, who might be moving from Boston or the Boston area,
Right.
or just another part, southern New Hampshire or something, but they learn about Fitchburg and its architectural heritage,
Yeah.
and they come here and they have always dreamed of being able to live in a house this beautiful.
Yeah.
And if they're willing to put in that elbow grease
Sure.
and learn how to take care of these things, yeah, you can have a house that you dreamed of. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And so we're seeing that
true.
over and over again, and it's really a wonderful thing to see, because at the Historical Society we see then that people come in to learn more about their neighborhood, to learn more about the people that lived in their house, to meet other people that are working on their homes. And
Yeah.
so it's, you know, we're right in the middle of downtown, right on the Upper Common,
Right.
and we're seeing more and more people interested
Oh, that's great.
in Fitchburg's history.
That's what you
Maybe
want.
we can show our buildings, because
Yes, we
so
have a
many
picture
people,
of the Historical
Yeah,
Society.
yeah.
Where are you, and,
Yeah,
and what
and-
you look like. There you
Exactly.
go. There it is.
So this is the Historical Society right on Main Street,
You really
facing
stick out.
the Upper Common. Yes, we do.
Look at that. I don't know if I realized that.
You know why? It's because, you see, you're being an architectural historian here.
Oh, look at that.
It's the two buildings on either side are older, and so they were smaller in scale. And when they were built, there were a couple of wooden houses between them where the Historical
Oh,
Society
get
is
out of
now. So we were built in the 1880s, and the funny thing is that it was built by the Fitchburg Mutual Fire Insurance Company, and that it was sold by them to the Historical Society. We are the second owners in more than 30 years, the second owners of that building, which is called the Phoenix Building, because the phoenix is the bird that rises
Right,
from the
from the
ashes.
ashes.
So it's a great symbol
Yeah.
for a fire insurance company that helps you rise from
There
the
you go.
ashes afterwards. And so on the day of the house tour, we open at 10 a.m. The house tour starts at 11, but if people want to get another ticket or they haven't gotten their ticket yet, they can come to the Phoenix building on Main Street and get their ticket
their
at that
ticket, good.
time. And you can tour around. We do a holiday display, and we've got a historic show up about immigration, but then we also have many beautifully decorated holiday trees
Great.
that we're going to be decorating. Actually, our volunteers will be starting on them this Friday.
Oh,
and
great.
so it makes it really a festive, fun place.
Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful
And
space.
It's nice to see people. And we have Fitchburg gifts that we'll talk about later.
Yes, we're gonna
so that you can
mention
pick
that.
up there too.
Good.
So many people start, they park at the Historical Society
Mm-hmm.
and visit starting at 10, say, and then by 11 you can go to some of the other nearby locations.
Fay Club is one of them?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. Well, the closest one, if you don't mind me saying, the
Sure.
very closest ones are the Boulder Art Gallery, which we do have a picture
Oh, yeah, that's a
of on
great,
Main
great
Street,
gallery.
and Jerry Martell's Classic Carriages.
Oh, yes.
So there's the gallery, and
Yep.
while the very front is a little newer, the building behind is very, very early in Fitchburg's history. That whole side of the street, those were built in the early 1800s.
Oh, wow.
So it's very early, and some of those have the beehive ovens.
Oh,
that,
yes.
You know, but all sorts of colonial detailing.
So cool.
On the inside, and the Boulder Art Gallery is a wonderful place to visit. They usually have refreshments there to greet people. They have Fitchburg presents, and they have art by local artists. And then this is also on Main Street and just across the street. This is Jerry Martell's Classic Carriages, where you can see it's a beautiful early 19th century townhouse in Fitchburg. So one of the earliest that were built on Main Street that are still there.
I used to live right next door.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, and I got to tell you, it was the most beautiful apartment, and I'm a little sad that I don't live there anymore. Not that I don't like my house, but yeah, I absolutely adored that apartment. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I remember actually on one of the house tour days, hearing the music from Jerry's place. I came home from
good.
work and it was still going on. but
Yeah.
I could hear the music, and I was like, oh, this is great.
It's so neat because you can go in, and Jerry has a lifetime of
so much
collecting
stuff.
about cars. He knows
so much stuff.
I have never been able to stump him about a
I
car.
believe
It's
it.
really impressive. And so you see things that remind you of, he's got the models that the car dealers gave out of, you know, of the cars of yesteryear. And so you'll see all sorts of
So cool.
early cars and early car memorabilia. It's really cool. And he's a charming man, Mr. Fitchburg.
Oh,
he's a lot of fun.
He's an icon, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
A local legend.
And he loves having people visit for that. So people visit there, and then often, then you can walk to the Fay Club, which is our tea room this year.
Yes.
And the Fay Club, people probably know this, but it's also by a very famous architect, by Richard Upjohn, who's featured in American art history books. It's the same architect who also did Christchurch across the street. This was done as a mansion, a private mansion, and it's still in extraordinary condition with the interior paintings,
Oh, it's absolutely
original
amazing.
woodwork. It's astonishing and beautifully cared for, and we just love it that the Fay Club people allow us to have our tea room there so that people can come and sit by the fireplace and listen to live music.
Super cozy.
And run into friends and drink coffee or tea. And
For
have
being a
some-
mansion, it's a very cozy place.
Yeah, it is.
I love it. It's
It
one of my
is.
favorite places.
And one of your hostesses there will be Kathy Cragen.
Oh, lovely.
She has never, ever allowed it to run out of cookies.
Oh, very
They
important.
always have
We
a
always-
missing number of cookies.
It's fun, and people really love to see that house.
Oh,
It's also, I want to mention that it's free with your ticket. So,
Right.
you know, if you buy a ticket, definitely stop in. And a lot of times people will meet friends there, or they'll even plan to meet,
Yep.
come and have a cup of tea, maybe talk about some of the houses that they're going to visit on the tour. You know, they come at different times during the tour. We also will we have a limited amount of tickets, but we can always run across the street if we have to get them. But we do have some tickets available there. And, you know, it's definitely, I hope people will stop in. We usually get a good
sure they
crowd.
Yeah.
We usually have a piano player too and
Oh,
sing some
nice.
carols, and it's fun.
It's really
great.
fun.
Love
yeah.
it.
And last year, many people walked up Prospect Street too from Main Street, and it was neat because they wanted to explore Fitchburg a little.
Yeah.
Turned it into a whole day of exploration. And so we do have. For me, this would be a schlep up the hill, but we're also showing the Applewild School, which is
Oh,
on
I
Prospect
didn't
Street.
realize that. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're celebrating their 60th anniversary as an independent school, and so it's on the estate of C.T. Crocker, and so it's a Georgian building, one of the most prominent mansions in the city, and so they're opening up part of this. You can see, look at that
It's amazing.
extraordinary
It's a
building.
beautiful place.
And they It's a beautiful place with lovely people,
Yep.
and it's a wonderful chance to go inside, and they're showing some of their areas, so you can
Great.
see that as well. So it's a real cross section this year of,
It sure is.
Fitchburg buildings,
Yeah.
Fitchburg's architecture.
Well, I'll be excited to see that because I've never actually been into
Oh,
Applewild.
cool. Oh, yeah,
so,
yeah.
Awesome.
That's wonderful. I'm glad to know that people even who've gone to other house tours, there are going to be new buildings for them.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be a hard decision because people will say, well, gee, do I go to this one that I sort of remember and I loved so much, or do I go to one that's brand new? And so I don't know.
No.
Toss a coin.
Toss a coin, or just do it all, right?
Do it and
Just
try to do it.
all.
If you're energetic, you can do
Start
it all.
early and
Start early, get a coffee, have at it.
Yeah, we
Cookie?
always have so
And a
much
cookie.
fun. And I just want to say to people that if you're thinking, well, maybe this sounds good, remember it's also a terrific way that you're supporting a local nonprofit. The Historical Society provides opportunities for people to do research into Fitchburg's history. We have kids come from the schools all the time,
Yeah.
both kids that are doing research and also classes that are doing field trips,
Yep.
where they get a chance to see actual historic objects that are from Fitchburg that might be 100 years old, 150 years old, more. And we've had kids say, can you tell me, do you have anything about my grandma and grandpa? And we'll have things about their family. And they love that we
That's
can
really
show
cool.
them
Yeah.
something about their family, or we can tell them who their street is named after, why that it has that name. And so it really helps connect them
Yeah.
to their city, because of course this is their hometown.
For sure, yeah.
And they want to learn more about it. And so
that's great.
it's the Historical Society is an independent nonprofit.
Right.
We don't get any kinds of tax money or anything like that. It's all funds that we raise from our memberships and these fundraisers like this,
Right.
donations and things. If any of you are on a foundation board, we'd love to get a grant. We're happy for that. And also,
Do we have any other properties
gift
to show? Or are we going to
I
go
think
right
we're
to
I
good.
think
the
we've
We're
done
good with
them
the
all.
properties.
I think
We're good
we've
with the
done them
properties.
all.
Let's get to the swag. Yes.
So we've got, we brought in some of our
Love it.
swag. This is our, should I put it on my
Oh,
colleague
geez.
here?
All right.
Look out.
So
looks
these
great
have
on
been
you,
really
Kat.
popular.
Yeah.
It's a new design that says the Berg.
The Berg.
And we've talked to so many people who've bought them for kids that are big Fitchburg boosters, but that they may be going to school in another place, or they've got a job in another city, and so they want to show that
They
they're
wanna represent.
Fitchburg boosters.
I
That's
love
right.
it. That's great.
So we've
I
got
want
Matching,
one.
matching shirts.
Yeah.
Two different colors.
I want a shirt too.
It's a great
and
it's a great stocking stuffer.
Yeah.
And we also have postcards, and we have a lot of other
Yeah,
gifts.
note cards.
great.
What we decided last year was we thought, well, we're seeing everybody at Christmas time, so we designed these beautiful Fitchburg tree ornaments. So we have those so that you can,
That's
if you're
cute.
buying a ticket for somebody, you could give it with a tree ornament or with a Fitchburg Historical Society refrigerator magnet.
Oh, awesome.
We have tote bags to make it easy to give them in the little tote bag.
Smart. That's smart.
And as I was saying to you earlier, it's because people come and visit, and if they have a connection with Fitchburg, but they're visiting from somewhere else, they want something that says Fitchburg on it.
Right.
They want to take that out into the world, and so that people will ask them, wait a minute, I know Fitchburg.
Yeah.
So can I tell you my story that I was on a hike in Utah in the mountains, and we were chatting with this family from California. We're talking about everything in the world and what we've seen in Utah and we said, where are you from? They said, California. And they said, where are you from? And we said, Massachusetts. And they said, oh, do you know Fitchburg?
Oh my gosh.
And I said, I sure do.
Oh wow. That is so random, huh?
And then they knew they had a very good friend in Fitchburg.
Oh my
and so they
gosh.
said, give her a message next time you see her. It was so much fun. But I was so proud
Yeah.
to be able to say, I do know Fitchburg. I
Yeah.
know all about it. It's a great city.
Well, if that doesn't prove it's a small world, I mean, nothing
right.
does.
That's right.
It's amazing. Well, that's great. I love the hat. I'm definitely going to get one. I just love that. I think that's so cute. The Berg. I love that.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of stuff that says the Berg on it, you know? So, and it really is sort of a It's a Fitchburg thing to refer
it is.
to ourselves as the Burg.
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
love that. I love that so much. Good. Any other fun swag that people can pick up?
well, yeah.
Not that that's not enough. That's quite a lot of.
Well, we do have Ivor Johnson T-shirts.
Oh,
As
great.
we said, the note cards that Kathy mentioned are actually pictures from Fitchburg, both historic
Yeah.
pictures. So we've got historic ones of the Nashua River under snowfall, or the boulder where you see it with the snow and with Christmas lights
Classic.
nearby. And then we have some recent ones too of the firefighters with the American flag, and we have we sold out actually of our Cogsall Park ones with flowers, so we've reordered and now we've got those restocked
Great.
because they're so popular. They're
Yeah,
so
I believe
pretty.
that. Beautiful
so
space.
we do. So a lot of that, and of course we are a historical society, so we have books about Fitchburg history
Yeah.
that we sell, little ones, little picture books, and great big 2-volume tomes that give you everything about Fitchburg history.
I love it. Fantastic. It's a beautiful space, so that's great.
Thank you.
I hope everyone goes to the house tours. They're really fun. It really is so much fun. So once again, December 2nd.
Yes.
Starts at 11, but the Historical Society will open at 10. If you'd like to come in, if you don't have a ticket, you need an extra ticket, if you just want to check out the space, they will be there at 10 o'clock on the 2nd of December. Go, have fun, walk around, tell your friends. Now, people can get tickets as well, though, at various businesses around
yes,
town, too,
absolutely.
right? We should probably
That's-
mention that.
Yeah, that's very important
Yeah.
because thank goodness for these wonderful businesses that support us. Well, the mayor's office of the city hall, you can go there to get tickets, but also you can go to a number of local businesses. You can go to Shack's Clothing, you can go to Slattery's or Mill Number 3. You can go to Elliott's Jewelers or Windmill Florists or DeBonis and Davin. I always say
Davin.
yes, Davin. I always want to say it wrong for some reason. Florist also, and all of them have tickets for sale, and so in advance. So
Right. And
people
cost
can
of a
go.
ticket?
The tickets are $25. And all of it goes to benefit the Historical Society. And in fact, we're so lucky that so many of our costs are donated. The beautiful photography that you've been seeing is by a Fitchburg photographer, Charles Sternamalo, who does the photography for us as a donation. And then Anne Giancola, who's a graphic artist from Fitchburg, now working in California, still does our graphic
I
design.
took a couple grad school courses
Oh,
with
yeah,
Anne.
yeah.
Yes,
She's
we
wonderful.
actually had a group project together.
Oh, yeah,
she's
and she was
wonderful.
awesome.
She's such a talent.
She does a
really
great
nice
job.
person. Hey, if
Yeah.
you talk to her, tell her I said hi.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
absolutely.
I didn't know she was still connected here.
Yeah,
so
isn't
that's-
that wonderful?
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of the benefits of having, a committee that's worked on this for so long,
That's
having
great.
a consistent event like this, because you build these friendships.
Right.
And the Miles Press does the printing for us, and it's just so generous of all of these businesses and all of these volunteers
That's-
to do
yes.
so much.
It's a pleasure. It really is fun. And it gets you in the Christmas spirit.
It sure does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really
if this
does.
doesn't, I don't know what does. So it's
And I'll
great.
give our phone number if I can.
Please, go for it.
It's 978-345-1157. You could even call now and just leave your name and number, and we'll call you back. There's plenty of time for us to charge the tickets and put them into the mail for you. And you can go to our website, www.fitchburghistoricalsociety.com or .org.
Is it .org?
We have both of them.
You have both. Okay. I always want to
And-
say org, but
And if you want to get in the Christmas spirit a little earlier, you can come on Friday.
That's right.
When we start setting, we've
Oh, when you
actually
set up, that's right.
set up trees, but they are ready to be decorated.
great.
And so volunteers to help decorate the trees are
Oh, that's nice.
also
That's a
a
good point.
welcome
Yep.
addition.
Yes.
Great.
Every year we have some volunteers stop in to help us out, and it's so much fun.
Oh, I bet. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, girls, this was great. I love talking house tours. 'Cause, I mean, honestly, I
you.
know some of these houses or properties, but a lot of them too, I Oh, I didn't even know that was over there. Or I don't, I mean, even though I grew up here, sometimes I don't know I haven't heard of a certain street, so, it's really, it's fun and it's eye-opening and it's just an all-around really positive, nice thing, I think, that the city does. So thank you for coming on to share with us. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. And thank you at home for joining us, or online, or however you're watching us. We appreciate it no matter what form you're watching us. That's it for tonight. Live from FATV Studios and here from inside Fitchburg. So it's the second Wednesday of the month, which means I won't see you until next month, which is December. It's going to be December. So we'll be back next month, and I hope you join us. We are going to be joined by Sue Christensen. So, stop on by again, and you'll see it on the websites and everything too. So I hope you join us. Have a great night, and hey, happy Thanksgiving. Take care.